Deborah Fouché, and I'm going to read to you some poetry from my new book, Three Kinds of Dark. I'm going to do it in two little sections of about 10 minutes each, so if you've had enough after 10 minutes, you don't have to listen to more. So that Three Kinds of Dark is available on Amazon and at zeitgeistpress.com. This is called Genesis Revisited. God created the world, and then looked down on fish and trees and water bugs and even icky tarantulas, and God said, "Good." Next God made humans and looked at them, their shiny eyes, their greedy teeth and brains, and even their pubic hair, and God said, "Very good." Then man looked around with his hands on his hips at the trees and the fish, at the woman, at God, and man's comment was, "Not good enough." He said, "Let there be a new heaven and a new earth, and a God that I can understand and write off on my taxes." And it was so. And God, having accomplished exactly what she intended, took a nice vacation in a milder climate, leaving no forwarding address. She did not answer the phone for a very long time. This is called The Driving Issue. You touched my heart, oh, more. You could have eaten my heart with butter and mashed potatoes with my blessing. But when you touched my skin, nothing happened. I was like a red Ferrari. You were a man with a pink slip, but no key. You'd never learned how to hotwire. Oh, I tried to help without nagging. Press in the choke, caress the wheel, lighten up on that accelerator. Nothing helped us achieve ignition, though I let you have the driver's seat for a very long time. And this poem is called In Abandoned Pastures. I wrote it for a friend of mine who had a very difficult life and was going through a suicidal phase. In Abandoned Pastures. A weed is what grows where no one wants. Suspicious generosity, brutal lack of nurturance, showing no grace. It foils or complements nothing, exists for itself and not to please or feed. It lays its claim to water just the same. They struggle up in strips and margins, in the hard triangles between freeway and exit, those dirty tangles. Yet millions of motorists have looked on green instead of asphalt gray. Standing like broken trees and making shadowy shiftings in the light of late day, they will not go away, no matter how often we strip them out. The bravery and selfishness of weeds outlasts empires. Chaos has its place. San Francisco's hills were gripped once by sand and weed alone, disregarded for centuries. Wild grass and wilder weeds held those hills together, loving them for themselves in rain and rockslide. No one remembers individual stalks or thistles, or complains that it could have been prettier. They took up space as needed. They changed the earth they rooted in by their fierce and simple hungers. We each hold down a space which could not otherwise exist. If nobody loves you, grow like a weed anyway and save the earth. This was written for a friend of mine named Evelyn, and it's called Tour of a Marriage. It was once a house of delight, filled with brilliant choreography. We embroidered on each other's strengths and danced around the weak spots. Over the years, we folded up our tolerance, stack after stack in the roomy linen cupboard of patience, until the door wouldn't close anymore. It became trickier to tiptoe across the clothesline stretched between our hidden meanings, and our public disagreements. In the end, the subtext got so loud we couldn't hear ourselves even in daytime, and every sheet and bedquilt tasted of sacrifice. When he ceased to turn a blind eye, leering at me while I undressed my conscience, I threw the pitcher of bitterness right in his face and left him there, dripping. And this is from my single days. It's called Ode to Familiarity. I am like the death row inmate sickened by too many reprieves. Let's come to an end. Let's get the formalities over with. I have been stripped to bones by passion, and I am hungry for anything other than fancy fireworks. I long for your splendid lines to slur and fade, your slanted, mysterious eyelids to crinkle and droop, and open on vistas so familiar we don't even yawn. Don't tell me of love and lust. Just say you will sit in the other chair while I clip my toenails every Sunday night. Tell me it's still your back that I'll be rubbing when your vertebrae begin to migrate toward the ground. Don't give me roses or diamonds. Slippers and house keys are all I ask. Love, oh reckless love, where is the boredom you promised me? And then I did eventually meet my husband. This is a poem that started in my single years, and I could never find an answer for it until after I had married. I couldn't finish it until after I had married. It's called Labyrinth. This heart has many doors but just one exit. If you're smart, you'll never need the exit. There are doors under construction and doors cloaked with cobwebs. There are doors that God himself can't enter. That's why they were built. There's a door for parents that opens every other Sunday in leap years. There are special doors for J.R. Tolkien, Steely Dan, and pecan pie. There are special doors for enchiladas, summer nights, and language. This heart had a lunatic architect who believed stars were transportation. She left no blueprint. There is only one way out, and sometimes there are guards. There are people who've left and tried to sneak back in, and sometimes they succeed. There are exes who get lost and take decades to get out. There used to be service tunnels, so the maintenance sex personnel could go in and out in 2 days flat, but lots of them fell down the oubliette. This heart is made of many things, most of them mutually exclusive. Spiderweb doors, rice paper doors, doors that can't be seen except from Mars, doors that are free to the public, doors that cost you everything. This heart was a dank and desperate place till you came in through a door I'd forgotten, the tiny magic one, the original door that unlocks all doors at once. And this heart, dilated to the size of a planet, blue skylights freshened with breezes, and the tunnels opened out to an ocean view. We lit a bonfire for every last bit of trash, and there was no more despair or two-dimensional sex, and nothing was any longer cheap or trivial. So I put on a ring that said to the world, this heart is under new management. Here's a shorty. A bad teacher expects a consistent child. His heart is like a refrigerator. He stands on the lip of a gossamer morning, grading the dawn like a problem. And this is something I wrote for my husband called Apology. I am sorry. That is, I should be sorry. A better person would be sorry. But it is so endearing to know every gray, bleary morning as I hang over coffee, aspiring to be awake, that you will tumble berries, peel kiwi of their furry hides, slide your knife along mango, chop bananas into neat rounds, and arrange them for me on shiny ceramic atop a wood slat placemat. Forgive me my selfish gratitude. I cannot pick up a knife and help. I must receive the gift in its perfection before the day opens, before I even comb my hair, even if I got up before you, even if I snored. And this, if I can find it, is called the 1%. Shut up. We appear on the 6 o'clock nightly news and you do not. Just shut up. Money is not a moral issue anyway. We know. We checked with our lawyers. And I think I'll leave that one here and go on to the second part if you care to join me. Thank you.